Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are looking at Unit 3.4 today. This is our last section in this unit already. There are only 4 sections in this unit. So what we're going to look today at is at the standard deviation. We're going to do an intro to it. Now, standard deviation is another way to measure how far away numbers are from the mean. Standard deviation is used a lot more than the mean absolute deviation that we learned about in lesson 3.2. Now, let's just do a quick review of lesson 3.2. All right. So if you recall, we had 2 people, Mark and Kim, and we had measured their level of cholesterol. All right, and we found the mean for both Mark and Kim. If you remember, the mean for Mark and Kim was the same. Okay, the mean for Kim, remember, is 184, and Mark was also 184. Okay, and then we subtracted each reading. We subtracted the mean from each reading, and we found what's called the deviation. That's how far away the number is from the mean. And then we found the absolute deviation, and we wrote those numbers down. Okay, remember, absolute deviations are the positive values. And then we added them up. Okay, and we got a total. And then what we did was we divided by how many there are. So there were 7 numbers here, so we divided by 7. And we ended up with the mean of the absolute deviations. All right, remember, this is one way to measure the variability of the data set. The smaller the number, the closer it is to the mean. Okay, the bigger the number, the further away it is from the mean. Remember how I talked about in the video how that can help the doctors out. Okay, but today what we're going to look at is standard deviation. The standard deviation is a more common way to measure the variability of a data set. Standard deviation is the average distance of the observations from the mean. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different in some of the steps. All right, we're going to do just one example, so this will be a pretty short video. So if you need to, go back and rewatch it, rewind and rewatch as many times as you need to. All right, here we go. And please have this written down in your notes so that when you're doing your worksheet, and when we take the tests, yeah, you are going to have to do this on the test, you are able to do it successfully. All right, so I made a real easy number set here. We're going to find the standard deviation. So step number 1, okay, step number 1, we're going to find the mean of the numbers. All right, so there's several ways you can do this. You can use your list if you want, okay. Let me go through that. So remember, you go Stat, Edit, go to the top, hit Clear if there are any numbers in it, and then hit the down arrow. Again, one more time. To the top, hit the Clear button, and then the down arrow. All right, I'm going to type these numbers in, so it's real easy. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. All right, now to find the mean, we're going to go Stat, Calculate, and then we're going to pick number 1 variable statistics. Okay, and the mean is the very first one at the top. So the mean is 15, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the mean is 15. All right, step 1 is done. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and put these numbers down this column right here where it says X, because those are the numbers we're using. Okay, now I'm going to go to step number 2. Step number 2 says Find the difference of each number with the mean. Okay, so just like what we did in unit 3.2, we're going to subtract. So we're going to go 5 minus 15. Okay, that's negative 10. 10 minus 15, that's negative 5. 15 minus 15, 0. 20 minus 15. Again, if I'm going way too fast for you, just hit the pause button. Whoops. 20 minus 15 is not 0. Let me fix that. That's 5. Sorry about that. And 25 minus 15 is 10. All right, so step number 2 is done. Step number 3, and pause the video and write these steps down and have them in your notebook. Have them available so you can look at them. All right, so square the differences. Well, that means we're going to take the negative 10 and we're going to square it. Now, notice I'm putting parentheses around it, folks. Okay, put parentheses around it. Otherwise, if you don't, the calculator, if you type it in wrong, will give you a wrong answer. But we all know that when we square a number, it's going to be positive, right? So 10 squared is 100. 5 squared is 25. 0 squared is 0. 5 squared is 25, and 10 squared is 100. Okay, we need to square them because if we added just the differences, again, if we just added those differences, we'd end up with a 0, and that doesn't do us any good. Okay, that doesn't tell us anything because we'd get 0 every single time. So we're squaring the differences. All right, let's see. Let's now go with, I'll go with orange this time. Actually, let me go with purple. All right, the next one, that's not purple. Step number 4, we're going to sum the squares. That means we're going to add these things up, right? So I'm just going to add in my head here, folks. 100 and 100 make 200. The 25 and the 25 make 50. And then we add the 0. So that would be 250. Okay, that's easy enough. But now, this is what is really different compared to what we've been doing in lesson 3.2. Okay, step 5, let's read it very carefully and make sure you write it down accurately. We're going to divide the sum by one less than the number of numbers. Okay, this is technically called the variance. Okay, I won't worry about holding you to knowing that word, but if you ever take AP statistics in the future or you take statistics in college, you will see that word. All right, so but we're going to divide by one less than the number of numbers. Okay, well, there are 5 numbers, right? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 numbers. So we're going to take the 250 and we're going to divide it by 4. Okay, easy enough. Okay, the math so far has not been difficult. This is all math that you know. We're just putting a bunch of things together with it. Okay, and then since we squared the numbers, folks, okay, in that third column, we squared all of those numbers. Okay, we want to undo the square. So that means in step number 6, we are going to take the square root of that number. So we're going to take the square root of the 62.5. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the standard deviation. And you end up with, and let me just show you quick with the calculator. Okay, the square root, you got to hit the second button and then the x squared button. Okay, do you see it? The second button and the x squared button. And then you're going to type in 62.5. And voila, yes, it's a decimal. We're going to round it at least 1 decimal places. Sometimes we might round it to 2 decimal places, but 1 decimal place for now is good enough. So that means the standard deviation is 7.9. So what that is saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that the average distance from the mean is 7.9. That's the average distance. Think about it. Okay, 5, the number 5 is 10 away. the number 10 is 5 away, the 15 is 0 away, the 20 is 5 away, and the 25 is 10 away. Well, think about it. 10 and 5, okay, so the average distance ends up being somewhere between 5 and 10, right, which is 7.9. All right. Again, rewind, watch that again if you need to. That was it, folks. One example. Okay, so now it's your job. You've got 4 problems to do. Okay, so go ahead and work on those problems. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.